Alright guys, I had to adjust my light. Hello everyone. How are we doing? I hope everybody is doing well. If you're playing back, I ask you please to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. How is everybody's weather where they're at? It has been windy and wet, but warm. We got up to like 55 or 60 degrees today, I think. It was nice. It was like, you know, like thin, long sleeve weather. It was pretty nice outside today. I enjoyed it. And I hope that everybody else got some decent weather today as well. I could do without the rain, but definitely, was it crappy? Did it rain all day? It rained up until, I'm going to say like 2 or 3 o'clock. 2 o'clock. We didn't even do our chores until after the rain had left because it was just raining so much. But, yeah. We got up warm today. I don't know what the low was. I think the low last night was like 44 degrees, 45. So the high was like 55 or 60 today. It was fairly nice, but it's muddy. And the mud makes it miserable. And when it rains, it makes it miserable. But I'll take the sunshine. It's been a long time since we had seen sunshine. So I'll take it. I'm starting to get cabin fever. I told my husband he's going to have to take me out of this house and off of the farm soon to do, you know, something different. Because being home and being outside where it's cold and then just coming in the house and, you know, like waiting out the bad weather is about more than I can take right now. I'm getting major cabin fever. And I hate being stuck in the house. I hate it. But I am looking forward to spring. I can say that much. Yeah. Yeah, he said, I've already lost my mind. I'm always at work or stuck in the house. Yeah. Yeah, it gets old very quickly. It gets old very quickly. I'm also getting fat because I'm in the house all the time and I want to eat. Anybody else, when they're stuck in the house, just want to eat the whole entire time they're in the house? Hold on. Let me see. Y'all had ice today? I can't really read your name. You're always eating. We're gonna get like the what do they call it? I don't want nuggies. I get heavy in winter and I've been better this year. I'm not. I've been worse this year than ever. And the scale is telling on me. Because I've been going hard the whole time. You're working on your dad bod? You know what? The one good thing about dad bods is the wife loves a good dad bod. And that's all that matters. Hi, Stella. How are you? I always loved the name Stella. I always thought it was so beautiful. You want snow? You live in Texas, and we had no snow for like 5 years, I think. Oh, wow. We get snow almost every year. Hi, Alex. How are you? I'm glad to see you pop back in. My dog sounds like he's having a stroke. Does anybody else's dogs get that like backward sneeze. He backward sneezes all the time. I don't know if it's lucky or not. Do certain parts in Texas get snow like more often, or is it just like you don't get snow in Texas? Because I am completely unfamiliar with the way Texas is. I tell my husband all the time when I like look horrible, like I'll be out in the farm at the farm all day and then have to like run to the store to pick something up, and I'm covered in whatever, because farm life, and I'm usually wearing my muck boots that are just covered in mud, and I'll be like, I look awful today, but I ain't trying to impress nobody. So when Texas gets snow, it creates a national emergency. Wow. It's a husky, and I've never heard them backwards sneeze. He sneeze. It's literally the way it's a sneeze. It's instead of blowing out, they blow in. So they're like like that. That was awful. That was an awful explanation, but that's exactly how they do. Except it's through the nose and not the mouth. I can't do it through my nose. I would probably blow snot everywhere. But it's like he does it all the time. I don't know if it's his specific breed of dog or what it is, but he always does that. Let me see. Maybe it's where he's little. Feel kind of drained today. Not sure if it's the weather or the lack of sleep. Dude, I was literally just talking about that. I'm getting cabin fever. I'm tired of being stuck in this house. I'm tired of when I go outside. I'm tired of when I go outside. If you're Elon Musk sending me a message from outer space, please send me money along with that message. Please. I beg of you. I beg of you. You live in Minnesota and there's no snow? Nobody's getting snow up north hardly. Like the places that usually have snow aren't hardly getting any snow. I totally feel drained today as well. I feel like I could just completely take a nap. And just I'm tired of being in the house. I'm tired of being stuck here. Yeah, it's like the backward sneeze is like either your dog does it, and when they do it all the time, or nobody's ever even heard their dog do it. But our dog does it so much that it makes him sick. He'll like vomit because he'll just do it like so long that it makes him vomit. It's awful. I feel bad for him. He's pitiful. He can't help it though, and I can't do anything for him. Yeah, it's a really odd sound. It's like I don't know. It's like I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it. Your dog literally high-pitched screamed the other day. That's so funny. It's so funny. And see, we have, how many dogs do we have? 6 dogs. And I've never heard another dog. None of my other 5 dogs do it. Well, hold on. I'm trying to think. We got Ollie, Koa, Katie, Seeker, Tilly, and Bonnie. And Bonnie's getting ready to have pups. So yeah, we've got 6 dogs. Like hawking a loogie. Yeah, it's gross. Except nothing comes out but vomit. Because he'll do it so long that he's like hyperventilating and he vomits. It's awful. It's nasty. It's gross. And he'll do it in the middle of the night too. He woke me up last night doing it, and it's so late, and you're like, he's gonna throw up. So then I run and rush and try to get him outside, and it's a mess, especially when you're half asleep. Yeah, I feel ya, Alex. I feel ya. I get real bad like seasonal depression, and this year I didn't have it too awful bad. In the beginning, around Christmas time, I had it a little bit, but I pulled through. But I can feel like if I don't get sunshine soon, if I don't get a couple days of sunshine on my skin, and get a little break from this weather, that it's going to creep back in and I'm going to be grumpy again all the time. And seasonal depression is not fun. It's not fun. Because really you have no control over it besides, you know, just like getting sunshine. That's the only way out. And, I don't know. But I told my husband, I said, you got to get me out of this house. We got to do something. I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. I'm going to have a breakdown. You're going to have to get me out of this house. And so I need to go out and do something. I don't know. No, I wouldn't wish it on anybody either. Definitely not. Definitely not. A couple of years ago, I had seasonal depression so bad. It was probably the worst. And I've had postpartum, which postpartum was really bad. I had postpartum after I had my child for 2 years. And, you know, I would be okay, and then I wouldn't be okay. And like I said, like you said, I wouldn't wish depression on anybody. But my seasonal depression got so bad, I guess about 3 years ago, that I wouldn't even get out of the bed. I wouldn't even get out of the bed. My husband had to do all of the farm chores, and I was just barely hanging on, trying to get stuff done in the house. And I couldn't hardly do anything. I was doing the very basics. And then I would just like climb back in bed. And that's rough, you know? That's a hard spot to be in. And he practically had to drag me out of the house at that point. And he kept telling me, he's like, you're going to have to get outside. You're going to have to get outside. You're going to have to get outside. And finally I got outside, and I started feeling a little bit better when the sun started coming out and getting fresh air. But like literally it was horrible. It was horrible. And like you said, I would not wish that on anybody. The feeling of not even being able to like function correctly, or just like even be able to get out of the bed. Oh my gosh. These stories, Eric, they'll say anything. People will say anything. But yeah, I'm not big. I felt bad. I was on Facebook. I was on a homesteading, it was Kentucky Homesteader something. It was a Facebook page. And a woman got on there and she said, hey, we just moved from up north. And she said, hold on, Eric, I'll take care of it. She said, I'm wondering if you all get if like this area, if y'all get sunshine in the wintertime, or if it's real bad, because she said that they had to move down here hoping that she would do a little bit better because she would get seasonal depression so bad that she couldn't get out of it. And I felt so bad for her because, yes, child, we go long periods of time without any sunlight. I'm wishing I had a mod spot to see what they said now. Do you want me to make you a mod? Hold on. Can I have 2 mods on one? I guess you can, can't you? What's the difference between... Okay, managing moderator can manage block words and change chat mode in lives, and also has the capability of standard moderation. And then can review and remove chat messages and hide or put user in timeout. I guess you're standard. I don't know. Mike, I ain't got no problem making you a moderator. You got my phone number. And my email. There you go. You got the little wrench. Look at you, big boy. Moving up, gonna be Leonard Creek's Farm new moderator. What a grand what am I trying to what a high calling. Look at you, buddy. Yeah, I'll totally do it. I have no problem doing that. Eric said part of the crew, part of the ship. Oh gosh, I appreciate it, honestly. I do, honestly do. I'm making jokes, which you all know me, but I appreciate it, honestly do. I appreciate all the help that Eric does, and Mike. Mike is a big help as well. And he wasn't even a moderator. He was all the time helping me with stuff. Still helps me with stuff. So I appreciate it. Y'all are gems. Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'll totally do it for you too. Eric, legendary series of movies. Is that a movie, Eric? Since we're talking about movies, what is everybody's favorite movie? I used to be a movie buff. I told my husband, because he didn't hardly watch TV growing up. They had a TV, but he didn't watch it. And I spent, probably from the time I was 15 years old until I was probably 16 years old, I spent every single weekend at the movie theater. Probably Friday, Pirates of the Caribbean. Is the series of Pirates of the Caribbean? Jack Sparrow is my guy. I've not watched all of them. You don't think you have a favorite movie? I'm trying to think. There's so many good ones. I probably would choose a girly movie compared to all the guys that were on here. Jurassic Park. I haven't seen the new one. I've seen, like the 80s Jurassic Park. Tokyo Drift, maybe. Oh my gosh. I watched Tokyo Drift like nobody's business. I watched Tokyo Drift like nobody's daggone business. I can remember like majority of the songs from Tokyo Drift. I have not seen The Beekeeper. Ocean movies are great. Have you all seen, the girly movie, probably my very favorite, probably my most favorite, is, and I haven't seen it in years, is Where the Heart Is. But it's a girl movie. Y'all probably have not seen it. There was also, it's a girl movie, but there's a movie that was called, what was that called? It had Queen Latifah in it, and she was a beekeeper. 27 Dresses. I remember 27 Dresses. It wasn't my favorite movie though. Has any of you seen Where the Heart Is? What's her name? Who's the girl that played, I would have to say I like the Star Wars series as well. Who's the girl that played, Padme in Star Wars? Which one is it? I'm trying to think of the name of it. Is it Natalie Portman? It's not Natalie Portman, I don't think. What is her name? Maybe it is Natalie Portman. Are you saying yes to me? Okay, it is Natalie. She plays Where the Heart Is. And to me, in the movie Where the Heart Is, it's like, it's such a down-to-earth movie. You know what I mean? Like, like when you've watched a movie and you're like, oh, that's a good movie, but it's like nothing you can relate to. But like Where the Heart Is, it's like a movie that you can relate to. Like, it's like they portray the actors as people like, Like that you would know. Like people that you would know. Like, I don't know. It's a good movie. If you see me, then you mean it, then you know you have to go. Fast and Furious! That's exactly how they say it. I told you I know it. Well, I know my favorite movie now, The Notebook. That is a good movie. It really is. That's back in the day, that probably would have been my top tier. It is a good movie. I never got into The Lord of the Rings. I never did. And for those of you that don't know, I was born Protestant. I was raised Protestant. My dad was a pastor. His dad was a pastor. So we were not allowed to watch movies that had magic in them, like Harry Potter, stuff like that. So I would sneak at my best friend's house and watch Harry Potter, and they would watch Lord of the Rings, but where I wasn't, like I never got into it. But you want to grow lamb so bad. I'm double dipping, watching lamb stuff on TV and here with y'all on the phone. Lamb. My aunt raised sheep, and she had just as much of an awful time raising sheep in Missouri as I did in here in Kentucky raising boar goats. So it makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. Looking back, I think that we had an issue with chlamydia. So we got, when we very first got goats, we got 3 goats. And our buck was younger than our does. And so we had to wait for him to come of age. And the buck, when we bought him, he brought, we didn't know, but he brought, what's it called? Coccidiosis on the farm. And because of that, it messed up because we didn't know. Like, we were just getting into goats, and we didn't have anybody around us that raised goats that was close. We just had, family members at a distance that had raised goats, and so we didn't know. And so we didn't see the signs. And so it had gotten so far that it affected their gut. They survived, but one, the older doe, which she was only like a year old, it messed her gut up for life. And then the buck ended up dying, I believe, from complications from it. His belly would swell all the time, and there was no giving them anything for bloat to help because it had destroyed their stomach. So he dies, and we replace him with another buck. That buck's name was Chance. And I believe that Chance died, or I believe that Chance had chlamydia. Yes, the sexually transmitted disease. Goats can get it. And I believe that he had chlamydia, and we did not know. He later dies of polio. He lived a week with polio, and we did everything we could to keep him alive. But it didn't work out. And so I had 2 goats. So we started out with 3. We had 2 does, and we had Casper. Well, Casper died from complications of having coccidiosis. And then we buy a new buck, and he later dies of polio, but not before he gives our does chlamydia. Okay. So, I can't guarantee that they had chlamydia, but I'm pretty positive they did. And how I know this is because they would have miscarriages and they would have stillbirths. So out of 5 years, maybe, of raising goats, we had one baby born out of all the does that we had. So I just kept buying more does to add to the herd. And I always kept minerals out and baking soda, but this was like the disease had done hit their gut and there was no coming back from it. I would drench them in baking soda when their belly swelled so bad that you couldn't do anything. I mean, it would swell so bad. There was no coming back from it. This was not something that baking soda would take care of, minerals would take care of, not even medication would take care of it. They had been treated with medication. BFG is a really cute movie. It actually, that's one of my top movies. It's pretty cute. So going on down the road, Chance dies of polio, and after he passes away, I buy another buck, yet another one. And with him, I buy 2 other does. So, well, actually, the farm that he came from, I bought Edie, and before I bought Edie and what was his name? Mo, I bought Jasmine. Well, Jasmine dies. I bought her from the same farm that I bought Casper from, and she just never thrived. We bought her and she just never thrived. She lived for about a year on the farm. She would go through bouts where she just wouldn't eat. She also had like a horrible smell that would get like it was like her teeth were rotted, but they weren't. Her breath always stunk, and I don't know why. I have no clue why. And so, we had Jasmine. She had the complications. We get a call from my mother-in-law one day. We're heading out to the farm. She says, your goat's dead out in the yard. I thought for sure it was the one Cammy who bloated all the time. I thought, well, she's, kicked the bucket from bloat. No, she didn't. And so she dies. So by this point, I have buried 2 males and a female goat and multiple miscarriages and babies within a 5-year period. And then Nala gets sick. Nala is our healthiest female ever. She had a baby. The baby was doing wonderful. She was doing wonderful. And then she just started dropping weight. We had no clue what was going on. We checked everything. We wormed her. She had access to minerals, access to baking soda. I was giving her B complex. Of course, we wormed her. We did coccidiosis prevention. We did everything. Antibiotics. We even gave her antibiotics because we were just like down to the last, we could not figure out what's going on. Well, we start looking at her feet. We're thinking, well, maybe there's an issue with her feet. Well, we find that she has a puncture, abscess up in her foot. And so we're like, well, maybe she had infection from the abscess that was in her foot. So we trim her feet. We cut it all away. She seems to be doing very well. Well, at this point, I'm done. And I posted the goats for sale. Somebody buys them. I tell them, this goat is sick. I'm not going to charge you for her because she's sick. But you're welcome to have her. Well, she dies. We ship them off. And by this point, when they buy them, because it was wintertime, you had to wait for weather and situations to get cleared up. By this point, she's doing better. But then I sell her and she doesn't make it through being sold and brought to a new farm. So I can't even express how dang on hard it was to raise those goats. The only thing that I can contribute it to is that they were Boer goats, that they were purebred, full-blooded Boer goats, and that because of that, there was a lot of inbreeding going on, and their immune systems were just not very high. I kept a hold on worms. I checked for motchas all the time. We had everything that we needed for the goats. They would get copper supplements when they were low on copper. They had all the minerals they needed. And we kept up with our goats. Excellent feed, high dollar feed. And and it wasn't enough. It literally wasn't enough. And there's a certain point where you're just like, is this worth this? You know? I got to the point where it was literally breaking like my heart. Like it was literally hurting me to have to come out there every day, and it was just like one thing after another, especially having stillbirths and having miscarriages. I don't know if any of you have had to sit through a miscarriage or a stillbirth baby being born. It's extremely hard. I mean, it is extremely hard to watch because you're watching these mamas have these babies knowing that, they're not going to survive. And then when the babies don't survive, they scream for their babies, especially if they're full-term stillbirths. They scream and look for their babies and wonder where their babies are at. And, they'll clean their babies, because their body has prepared them for a live kid, a live goat, and it's not. And we had our last stillbirth, and I told my husband, I was like, I cannot do it anymore. I sat with the kit and broke down and cried for probably an hour. And I told my husband, I was like, I can't do that. I cannot do it anymore. And so we chose to sell them because that was more than my little heart could take, of 5 years of just trying and burying, and like, it's a goat graveyard on the farm. Like, they are literally they are everywhere. And not to mention digging a hole for a goat. A 200 and 300 pound, well, not 300, but like a 150 to 200 pound goat, digging a hole for them is extremely taxing. It's hard. And then having to drag a 150 pound to a 200 pound goat, it's hard. They're heavy. And so it was more than my heart could take. After we had Chance with polio, that was extremely hard. We had to tube feed him. We had to stand him up at sometimes and lay him down at other times. We tried absolutely everything to keep him to survive. We gave him electrolytes and all the stuff, the B complex, and the stuff that you give when they have polio. It was extremely heartbreaking to watch a 200 pound animal. He was a very big goat. He was probably even maybe greater than 200 pounds. To watch him just like become nothing. He went blind. He couldn't see. He couldn't walk. He would slobber out of his mouth. It was awful. It was horrific. And I don't wish it on anybody. Let me see. Years ago, a goat died, and she was pregnant. So we did a emergency, to try to save them, but they were already gone. It wasn't fun. Yeah, I don't wish that on not a single soul. These are the things that they don't talk about. When all these homesteaders are telling everybody, come on, the water is fine. They don't talk about stuff like this when the water isn't fine. And you're, having to lose not only what you have invested time in, what you have invested money in, but what you have built yourself up emotionally for. And when you have situations where it's just like hitting the door every time you do something, it can get pretty heartbreaking. It's all fun and games until things start going wrong, and nothing ever goes right all the time. Even with rabbits, when I tell people that the very first baby rabbits we ever had, the mama killed her babies and ate them, and I came in and she was eating babies and there was blood everywhere, and she was, throwing babies out of the nest. that's not fun, you know, to come into. It's it's not for the weak. And so or coming in and like a mama rabbit has had her babies on the floor of a nest and all of them are gone, or yeah, it's hard. He said that he had tried a colony set up for a few months ago and it lost 16 kits. Yeah, it's like, and they're aggressive. Like, it's one thing for like babies to die, you know, baby rabbits or baby chicks or something. Like, we're used to death. We're used to death on the farm. I'm used to coming out and, you know, like a chick or two not making it after coming out of the egg. That's not anything, you know, we raise hundreds of chicks a year. That's not anything crazy to come in. It's not crazy to have a quail dead or for a baby, you know, a baby bunny not to make it. That's not what I'm talking. It's not crazy to have, you know, like a chicken to get an injury, or, you know, to a predator come in and get, you know, an animal. All of that is the normal stuff. But rabbits will literally kill their young. They will just choose to unalive them for no other reason besides they just don't want to take care of them, you know? Or just an example for today. I had a doe come in heat 30 days ago, or they don't really come in heat, but we'll just say for an example, she came in heat. I bred her. She had all of her breedings. She did perfectly fine. Everything was good. You know, I did my schedule where I breed them and then I rebreed them again to make sure that they took. Everything seemed normal. She did not have kits this month. She was the one doe I was wanting kits out of. So now I have to rebreed her, and I done had people waiting on kits from this particular doe. So like stuff like that happens, and it's money loss. It's heartbreaking. Just over this winter, I had a doe have 3 kits, 1 dead on arrival. She had 2. She chose not to feed either one of those. And Andy was doing the farm chores because I was sick with COVID. And our daughter was sick, and so I had to stay, you know, in the house with her. And he didn't realize that she wasn't feeding them. They starved to death over the period of a week. And then the other ones, I had two separate litters that they were born. They were born and they froze to death. You know, that's the not fun part of homesteading and farming, and that's the reality of homesteading and farming. And I hate it when people paint it as a pretty picture, because it's really not. You know, it's you've got to build your heart up, and in order for you to have like a mentality that death no longer bothers me, that's a realization that I maybe wasn't exactly prepared for. And he said homesteading farming plan to change plans. Yeah. I didn't realize that how much of me seeing death has made me not even react to it. You know what I mean? Like when you see so much death that now your reaction is not what it once was. Like I would come up on an animal dead, and especially when we first got started, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you know, so heartbreaking. And I would bury every baby chick that died, you know, every baby rabbit that died. And now something dies, unless I'm really, really attached to it, I just, you know, throw it out to the wilderness and be like, here you go, wilderness. Feeding something today, you know, and it's just you build such a hardness up to it, and it kind of takes you back a little bit. Yeah, but I remember when we first got started that it would break my heart, you know, that something had died, and I laugh now, but it's awful because I've built a hardness in my heart for death. And I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing. I respect the animal. You said you call it a gift to the predator gods. Yeah, I just throw them. Our neighbor has a field over there, and there's the field next to us. There's nothing out there, and so I just throw everything over there, and the foxes and the coyotes and whatever else gets it. There's hawks and all kinds of stuff. And it almost feels wasteful burying it now. But I do like to bury our older chickens. I think we got one chicken left out of our original chickens. I do like to bury them because, they were like part of the family for, 8, 9 years. So much so that we couldn't even eat them. We got attached. But I had to throw one over in that field the other day because the ground was completely frozen over and snowed. But, yeah, I don't know. Which, and two, the act of like processing an animal for food is something else that you have to build like a hardness in your heart to. Like, I have to separate in my mind, these are food, these are not food. You have to separate it in your mind, and you have to kind of build a hardness up, in your heart towards that. And you need to be thankful for the animal. You don't need to, like abuse your power. But you gotta kind of put a hardness in your heart, and it takes some innocence away. Is it important? Absolutely. Does our child see it? 100%. Do I feel guilty for showing her? I don't. But it does take an innocence away. It takes a little bit of innocence away, and it puts maybe a little bit of hardness or backbone in your heart, which maybe necessarily isn't a bad thing, but also when you look back, you're like, that used to bother me a lot. And that's something that comes with the territory of homesteading and farming. And it's if you're wanting to get a hard heart toward death, that would be the way to do it. Being a farmer or a homesteader. You cried when your first rooster died. He was your best friend. Yeah. Yeah. I had a hen that a fox came in and got years ago. And my husband had his buddy, like literally pretty much a childhood or a boyhood best friend. And after he died, there was some chickens. His son was almost 18, but not quite. So he couldn't live on the farm legally by himself. And so he sold all the animals that were on the farm. That way he, didn't have the responsibility of taking care of them. And there was a couple wilder hens that they couldn't get a hold of at the time that they sold the other ones. And so we ended up with one of the hens, and we had named her Mooney. And a fox had got in and killed her. And that was heartbreaking for all of us. That was heartbreaking to lose her. Because it was like losing a part of him. And I think that sometimes there's animals like that on the farm, that like they have somebody has given them to you, or you just build a connection with them. Like I said, our older hens, we were never able to eat them. We'd had them for, close to a decade. And so we've just let them die naturally. We've just, come out there and, them have been passed away. Now the other day I had to, I showed it in the video. I didn't show me putting her down, but she wasn't doing well anymore, and we had to put her down. And that's another thing as well is I don't believe farm animals need to be pets in the house. I don't think you should have a cow or a goat or a horse or whatever in the house. A chicken. I don't think you should have those animals in the house, but they can become pets in a way where you build a connection with them, and you have a relationship with them. And you know, there's chickens that I have on the farm that if I bend down, they will come right up to me. And those older chickens were like that. They would come up to me, they would let me pet on them and things like that. And so they become, you know, pet like. And those ones are hard to lose. I have a very strong attachment to one of our rabbits in the rabbitry. There's no possible way I would be able to eat her, and I will probably sell her maybe, but it's going to be hard on me to sell her. Because I've become attached to her. I love her. She loves me. We have a good relationship. And so, you know, when you become a farmer, there's moments like that, you know, you become attached to the animal. My brother-in-law, his dad, farmer his entire life. He was a cattle farmer, raised many, many head of cattle. They had a 500-acre farm. And no, I did not. And you know what? I knew I was going to do a live today, puppy dog owl. I knew I was going to do a live, and I told myself I need to make sure I look them up. That way I could tell her or him, who I don't know if you're male or female, that I looked him up and I forgot. But but he wouldn't even eat his own cattle when he sent them off to get processed. Ones that he sent off to get processed, he wouldn't eat his own cattle. He would just trade it with somebody else. So he would, you know, get a beef, and then he would trade his beef with somebody else's beef because he couldn't eat his own cattle. So things like that happen, and you get your mail. Okay, I didn't know. People get. I'm going to look them up though. I wrote them down. I told myself when I was getting ready this morning I needed to look them up. I didn't have the chance last night. Let me see. Let me go back up here. You said knowing that food comes from a life is important. As meat eaters, we should all see it. It doesn't come wrapping in plastic at a grocery store. Yeah, absolutely. They had personalities and faces first. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. And I think that it is important. It doesn't take away from the significance. You know what? Buying stuff in the store takes away from the significance of their life. You realize, and you're more grateful for the importance of life, in the life of your, you know, wants food, when you're the one that has to be the one that takes the life. It puts it in a whole new perspective. Makes you more grateful for it. I'm pretty upset when our new coop burnt down a couple years ago and lost our chickens. That is so sad. There's a girl here in Kentucky that they had show rabbits, and their barn burnt down like a week or so before Christmas. They lost absolutely everything, and it was like $40,000 worth of animals, equipment, cages, you know, because they bought show rabbits. So, I mean, there's mini Rex rabbits that go for like a couple, like the bottom line for mini Rex rabbits that are actually good quality show rabbits is like $350. So it's hard telling what they paid for some of their rabbits. And they also said some of the genetics they'll never be able to get back. So I can't even imagine. It was awful though. Learned my lesson. I won't heat the coop anymore. They don't need it. Yeah. I don't like heating coops up at all. That really sucks. I'm sorry. People seem to forget food doesn't come packed. Yeah, absolutely. I know every cow my neighbor gets back. I think that makes them taste better. I can truly appreciate and honor them. My condolences. Yeah, it does. Are you saying bye to me? See you later. You can cut combs. You can cut their combs off. If your winters are really bad, you can cut their combs and their wattles off. We do it. See ya. Have a good evening. We do it with our exotics. They all the males, because they have big combs. All the males and all the males get their combs cut off and their wattles. My Brahma rooster, I'm considering, because he has a huge comb and his wattles. He's got a little frostbite on his wattles, but he gets a little bit of frostbite on his wattles and his comb, but it's never really been anything bad enough that I wanted to spend the time to cut them off. But you can totally cut their wattles and combs off and they'll be just fine. It heals over and you never even know. We don't... It's not that big of a deal. So if you have a breed or you want a specific breed that has large combs or wattles, they can be chopped off with no issue. They bleed a little bit, but if you get something to put on it, you can use. There's a bleed stopping powder. There's different things you can put on it. But depending on what the weather affects how much they bleed, but honestly, it's not a major operation. And if you have show chickens, they require you to cut off wattles. Like 4-H and stuff, they require you to cut off wattles and combs for that reason. Yeah, my coop is open air, but yeah, I don't believe I've done an entire video on people freaking out. There's a homesteader that I've subscribed to his channel, but I don't ever watch his videos. And one of his videos popped up the other day, and he was telling people to wrap the coop in plastic and to throw straw down on the ground and then wrap it in plastic, and it'll have the greenhouse effect. Do not wrap your coops in plastic. Do not do it. Especially if you live in a colder climate, because throughout time, their bodies prepare them. They go through molt. They prepare their bodies for winter. Yeah, we raise hundreds. The only time, which I didn't do it to my coop, but my husband did it with his, some of his, with his exotic birds. When we had that polar vortex, or whatever you call it, we wrapped our coops up, because we had young ones in there. And, you know, they can have issues. Like when we had the polar vortex, we had some that lost toes, and then other ones that had, there's a rooster that we have. He's an absolute sweetheart, and we have to trim his beak back, because when we had the polar vortex, he was a baby, and, it messed up his beak. So he needs trimmed. But besides that, I've not really seen, and that was a polar vortex, negative 23-degree weather for, a week or two period. I think it was for an entire week. And we were, had previously had cold weather. But in general, you're not going to need to wrap your coop. Now, I do agree with putting straw or hay down, and I talk about this in one of my videos. I do agree with putting straw and hay down and giving them extra feed or corn. And the reason why I say that is because that keeps them busy and keeps them working. So I will throw straw down in their laying room, and I will throw straw down in the coop. And then throw the food down on the ground as to opposed to putting it in a bowl. And the reason why I do that is so that they will work and scratch and dig for their food. But I don't believe in wrapping the coop up or doing anything crazy or adding light. Because like I said, they're going to build their body up. And as long as your birds are healthy, as long as they're getting enough feed, and as long as they have a windbreak, all any animal needs, a rabbit, a horse, a cow, a donkey, all the farm animals, all they need is a way to get out of the wind. So as long as your animals have a windbreak, if they're cold, they're going to get behind, in or under or behind the windbreak. If they are not cold, you're not going to find them out. If they're out scratching, digging, eating, drinking, if they're off the roost pole, they're fine. They're fine. And it's having a light to keep your chickens warm is not worth your chickens getting burned up in a fire. I do not recommend using any kind of light unless it's absolutely 100% necessary. And on top of that, having like a 3-step plan for the light that you have hung up. So it needs hung or screwed into any possible thing that you can get it hung and screwed in. And you need to like have it. We had to use a light for the rabbits to have babies the other day because it was getting in low temperatures. We had it screwed to the cage, clipped to the metal, and screwed to the metal of the cage, and then tied with wire, and had stuff on top of the wire where it was heavy. So do not use it unless you absolutely have to. There's been comments, so let me go back up here. Maine chickens didn't have heat. Let's see. In my family, we always say thanks to our own way for the life when we eat meat. Yeah, I love that. Giving a windbreak is all right. Put a couple bales of straw. You're done. Whatever I just said, but don't need to be a greenhouse. Absolutely. Negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit is, or you said never outside. My dummies were all hanging out. Yeah. During the vortex. Hiya, Alex. How are you? Let's see. Okay. That's you and Alex having a conversation. Yeah, they don't need it. And if a homesteader is telling you they need it, they ain't been homesteading long enough for you to even take advice from them. That's my opinion. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it because everybody's an expert on chickens. But rarely they actually know what they're talking about. I'm not going to claim that I know absolutely everything, but I know that it does not need to be a greenhouse. And when that guy was doing that, I was like, just keep your opinion to yourself. Just keep your opinion to yourself. Just keep your opinion to yourself. I wanted to comment on the video so bad and say, you do not need plastic. This guy's lying to you. But he also has a rabbit in with his chickens, and a guy left a comment and said, I'm not going to take advice from a guy that doesn't know the difference between rabbits and chickens. And I laughed out loud. But all right, Alex, I appreciate you hanging out once again. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You said I leave my chicken facts to the professionals. The chickens know best. Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you seen the videos where people are like, chickens can't have this and chickens can't have that, and they'll die if they eat this, or they'll die if they eat that? And I'm like, listen, if I throw something in there to the chickens and they eat it and it's supposed to be poisonous to them and they're dumb enough to eat it while they're free ranging, then they don't deserve to live anyways. They're a bad influence. It's survival of the fittest. Yeah. Have you listen? People are like, don't throw these garden things into the whatever. Have you ever seen a chicken in a garden? Have you ever? They will eat whatever. They don't care. And if they're going to go out of their way to scratch and eat whatever's in the garden, then if it kills them, it's their own fault. They shouldn't be in there anyways. They shouldn't be in there anyways. They're not, like, I don't know why people act like they're dumb. They're not so dumb that they don't know what they're not supposed to eat. Any animal, as long as they're not starved to death, I have found this to be true. Any animal, as long as they're not starved, will not eat something that their body cannot take. Now, if they're starved, absolutely, they're going to, like a dog is going to dig through the trash, knowing that, you know, they shouldn't, knowing that there's stuff in there if they're starved to death, you know. But if you're actually taking care of and feeding your animals properly, they're not going to be eating stuff they shouldn't eat. Period. Period. Point blank. Explanation point and period at the end. They're not going to eat stuff that they're not supposed to unless you're not giving them a well-balanced diet. So that makes you the dummy and not them. You heard it right. You heard it from me. I stand by it. If your chickens are eating stuff they're not supposed to, it's because you're not feeding them right. It's not their fault. Cheers. Yes, I want to put them on the, the table. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've seen a lot of experts on chickens. A lot. It's like they've never actually seen a chicken in real life. They've never actually seen a chicken in action. Never. What'd you say? Not my starving goats eating the stems off my my mower. Well, I mean, nobody's ever accused a goat as being smart. I'll give you that. They ain't never been accused of being geniuses. I had a goat that would do anything she possibly could to get her head stuck. I had a goat that would do anything she possibly could to get her head stuck. She would, if she thought possibly that she could fit her head through it, she would do it. First day on the farm, got her head stuck. I about choked her on accident. Your goats don't have a thought in them. Here's the thing, I know you ain't lying. I know you ain't lying. I know you ain't lying. I would 100% say, not even knowing the actual facts, that chickens are far smarter than goats. They're far smarter. Goats want to live less than chickens. You know, chickens are fighters. I ain't never seen a chicken just try to lay down and die. No. They will fight anything to live. A goat, you look at it the wrong way and it's like, buddy, I'm dying today. Peace out. See ya. My buddy duct taped a 2x4 to on one's horns. Gosh, why was that so hard for me to read? So he wouldn't stop. Yeah, he's like, why are they like that? See ya, Alex. Thank you. Good night. Yeah, goats don't have thoughts. Unless it is to unalive themselves. Unalive themselves. That is their goal. The only goal in life. And I'm finding, since raising quail, that is the quail's only goal in life as well. Oh my God. I am in a Snuggie. This is a blanket with a pocket. I love this thing. Let me back up and show you.
What was that?
It's a blanket with a pocket. And it's because I'm cold. I'm cold-natured. I'm cold. I've also got 2 pairs of socks on and house shoes. Yeah, quail are something different. Something I haven't had any issues with them jumping or anything like that. Just the when they were chicks, just like getting under stuff, polar bear. That's legit a polar bear, and I'm not even upset about it. It's so soft. I wish you could feel. I wish there was like feel of it. What do they call it? Smell-o-vision. I wish it was feel-o-vision. I wish you could feel it right now. It is so soft. It is. It's what I assume a polar bear feels like. It's what I assume a polar bear feels like. It is nice and warm. What was I saying? Like, after they were hatched, them getting underneath the cardboard that I had them on and, like, trying to unalive themselves. I mean, stuff like that, you know? I was like, gosh. Or, I told my husband, because I'd never seen quail hatch before, they will literally try to get out of the egg before they have even cracked the egg enough to get out of it. Like, I've never seen anything try to get out of the egg more. Like a chicken will like take their time. Like they'll pip in the morning and you probably won't even see them until evening. But the quail, they like see that first glimpse of light and they're trying to get out of there before they even get the egg hatched. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm going to go ahead and remove that comment. Let's keep things appropriate, please, sir. But yeah, I don't know. What? I don't know what you mean. I'm not really trying to say anything. I'm not making any kind of suggestions, if that's what you mean. Rude. I'll just go ahead and I'm gonna just take care of that. I don't have to worry about it. Why is it that I was on live the other day. Why do men feel the need to be so gross? Ugh. I hate that. Why? Why you gotta ruin stuff, dude? I don't like it. Do girls get on your rolls? Because you're a woman. Do girls get on your rolls? Mike, does girls get on your lives and tell you they want to get in your clothes? Why do they think that's appropriate to say to me? I don't understand. You've had some? Oh my gosh. Really? There's no way. Unless it was a dude hitting on me. You know what? In this economy. In this economy, I'd say. I'm gonna keep that thought to myself. Oh gosh. It's awful, is what it is. It's horrible because people sit behind a screen and they think they can just say whatever to whoever. Girl from Thailand named Bob, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like that last guy that was on there, you can't even read. I don't read Arabic, so I don't even know what his name is. And he knows that I don't read it, I'm sure. So he's sitting behind a screen right now, and he is typing whatever to me like it's okay. And I don't understand that. You know, I think that it's gross. I think it's... So anybody watching right now, if you're scrolling through and you are the type of person that just posts or comments, inappropriate comments on people's lives to be gross and vulgar and nasty, quit it right now. Stop it. Because ain't nobody like it. Nobody. Well, you know what I mean. Any decent person doesn't like it. It's gross. Ain't nobody trying to deal with it. They get on almost every single live. Almost every single live, at least one person is on here saying something gross. And I've got tough skin, but also I don't, gets on my nerves. That's what it does. Well, guys, I've been on here an hour and 9 minutes. So I think I'm going to pop off. Pop off. I don't know why that made me laugh. There was a joke that I wanted to save for lives today. And I cannot remember what it was. Yeah, I don't understand, Daisy. I do not. It's okay. Maybe you can be on the next one. I don't either. Like, you're right. Do they have anything better to do? I don't know. Like, and is that you doing all the little emojis?
Yeah.
If you all, can you all see the little hearts popping up and all the little emojis? That's my That's my sweetheart in the room next to me putting all those on. Usually 99% of the time if you see those, because it doesn't say who they are, it's her. It's her doing it. I think it's so cute.
Somebody else is doing it too.
They are?
Somebody is, because I'm seeing them after I'm getting done hitting them.
I think it takes a minute for them to pop up.
Well, they're going. It's all hearts right now, Mommy. It's all hearts going, and I'm not.
Come here. Yeah, she is smart. Let me see.
It's all hearts going, and I ain't hitting it. It's hard to see.
Oh, you can't see it. If you go, I was going to try to show you Daisy Q. Oh, man. Hold on, let me see.
If you go, and there's like a little side on this.
You always spam the hearts. Let me see. So if you hit this right here, Daisy Q. It's hard to watch their screen. Hold on. If you hit it, then you can go through here
And pick which one you want.
and pick which one you want. See?
Somebody's giving a bunch of hundreds.
See? He said, Mike said, oh, where'd you go?
Oh.
Is that me? Oh, yeah. If you, he said if you hit it once, it goes twice.
Oh, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's usually the sweetheart behind it.
That's me right now. Here, I'm gonna hit this one, see if it pops up.
Mike said that's him.
Okay, there's that one. We'll see if that's me right there. Yeah, that's me blowing in. I'm hitting that one. Now
You're like on a 2-second delay.
I'm watching it through my phone.
She's like a 2-second delay.
I'm watching it on my phone, and I'm wondering how I'm here on this one.
Is it funny watching yourself?
Yeah.
It is.
It's fun. It's funny because I can see it on that one, and then I look and see it on this one.
He said if you do it, it does wonders for the algorithm. I do it on your videos all the time too, Mike. Just so you know.
Yeah, I'm hitting them. I'm hitting them right now, and that's taking them a minute to the blow up ones. Now I'm gonna hit the hunduns.
What everybody have for supper?
Okay, that's.
We had a late supper, and so I ate. Have you had anything?
No, I'm gonna have some ramen.
She's gonna eat some ramen. You
Some
had
days really hot.
nachos smell good or smell good. I said sound good.
Because I done.
I had a bagel with cream cheese and an orange for a late night
You did.
after supper.
Tell me you had a bagel.
You want a bagel?
Oh, well, I got that packet of ramen that I opened up and took the packet out. I'll just throw the seasoning to it.
I was gonna do chicken, broccoli and rice. I was going to do chicken, because I baked a half a chicken last night. Oh, by the way, it was delicious. There is nothing, I don't know, like there's very few meals that top a baked chicken. You had chicken and rice too? All of you all had one version or the other of something somebody else had besides Daisy Q. She had nachos. But, like, Mike had, They had roasted chicken, broccoli, and rice. Eric had chicken and noodles, and Frank had chicken and rice.
What's with all the chicken and rice?
I don't know.
What's with all the rice?
I went on a rice kick a while back ago, and I wanted it with like every single meal all day long. Hi, Pure Alaska.
Oh, talking about food.
Oh my gosh, I just remembered I never sent you my number. I'll have to send you my number.
I remember one time thinking.
You can always message me on Messenger too. For those of you that don't know, me and Pure Alaska have decided we're going to try to do a live soon together. I want to learn all about Alaska. Oh, okay. All right. But, and I'm super excited about it. I want to learn all there is to know.
No. Yeah.
So get ready for all the questions, because I want to.
You're gonna be asking questions.
I want to educate. I want to be educated.
Is there bears there? In
Yeah.
Alaska?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a bear before? Because my mom will literally pass out. She is obsessed with bears. They went from it's Bigfoot, bears.
She likes grizzlies. Her
Oh,
favorite is
grizzly.
grizzlies.
We got her painted, and now she's like loves it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because on StreamYard you can have like, how many people can you have on StreamYard? You can have a lot. He said grizzly and polar bears.
Mm-hmm. She likes the polar bears and grizzlies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Talking about food, you know one thing I had, and you still haunt me to this day for having it. I took a hot dog bun, I put a piece of bologna in the hot dog bun, and put barbecue sauce on. It was delicious.
Nasty. And black bear and moose and elk and reindeer. He said they got it all.
Reindeer. Rudolph the Red.
You think 6 unpaid? Oh, cool beans. Yeah, that would be it. That would be an extremely fun live. That would be so fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
He said they got everything up there. Yeah. Have you ever? I'm sure you've probably went bear hunting. Have you ever went bear hunting? My mother-in-law wants to go bear hunting.
I mean, she's in her 60s. I don't know what she's going to do. She has hot flashes and all that.
Like it, don't tell.
Well, don't tell anybody. But
She said, don't tell anybody you're on live.
well, y'all just, whoever's on here, it's only 5 people on here, just don't tell anybody else. Lord,
Sitting there
please.
dogging her mama about being 60 and having hot flashes.
Oh, Lordy, I hope she don't watch this live. Do not let her see this live.
The only time that I've seen a bear up close, besides maybe like in a zoo, was
I hope I don't see anything.
she's out of here after bad mouthing her mama.
I was just preparing her for.
You just don't
being
think she can
cold.
do it, right? You don't think she could hunt bear.
I mean, she probably could, but I don't know about it.
She ain't got much faith in her bear hunting. We had, I was probably at 13, 14 maybe, and my parents had taken me to a restaurant, and outside of the restaurant there was she said we're all behind Grandma. She was out, there was an outdoor area where we sat and ate. And, there was a black bear that ran, or was it a black bear? I think it was a black bear. I can't remember. It was a bear that ran through the area. And later on, we figured out that it was a mama, and somebody had hit her cub. Because it was kind of like on a main road. It was like a highway in that area, and somebody had hit her cub next to the road, and she was sticking around and running back and forth across that road to get to her cub, which was gone. It was kind of sad.
Do y'all like popcorn?
We have like the highest density of black bear population in the lower U.S. in my area. We see quite a few black bear in our area during like when they come out of hibernation and during mating. You see quite a bit of them. He said, Pure Alaska Lakin said he came out of the outhouse one time and came face to face with a grizzly bear.
Oh, Mama's gonna love that.
He said, let's just say he's a rug now. He made him into a...
Oh, no. Poor little bear.
She said, poor little
I'm
bear.
gonna have to tell Mama, and she's gonna be so excited.
No, you didn't get stuck between a mama bear and cubs. How are you even alive to tell the story? Is what I want to
I have
know.
to get pencil and paper and write this down and tell Mama all about it, because I'll forget. Well, I
Do
have
you all have quite a few bear up there in Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Thank God, I've never gotten close enough to a bear to be in the situation where I get in between their cubs. That is a bad spot to be in, brother.
Mm-hmm. Gotta say that bear rug's soft. We'll just say it's a fried bear omelet.
You pretended to be a statue?
They say the best thing to do is play dead.
I would probably pretend to be a statue and have urine just running down my
I'd be
pants.
like this.
I would be a wet statue. To be,
You jump.
I would be a wet one.
I'd be like this.
You stand like that? You think I would probably not stand with my hands up? But
Well, I'm just trying to do something. I'd just be like, if I opened up a door and there was a bear there, Lord, you better bet I'd be running.
yeah, you're lucky to be alive, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so scary.
Yeah.
Thank God she took your statue act. But yeah, I'd be a wet statue for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd be a wet statue. Leakage statue. Be like a water fountain.
Yeah, I'd say they do. Because it's like, in my mind, I think of like Alaska as the equivalent of Africa when it comes to animals. I've never been to either place, but to me, like in Africa or like India, like you see a lot of animals, you know, like a lot of things just come through that, you know, are predators. And so in my mind, I'm thinking Alaska is the equivalent of Africa. Except
I
colder.
want to go to Africa.
He said I'd be a smelly statue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
it might not be only water running down my legs. It might be some other things as
This
well.
would be how, so let's say this is like the outhouse door and I open it up and there's a bear right there. I'd be like this. Shaking, I would probably just be like this and there'd probably be water running down my legs.
I don't know what I do.
As we would say number one and number
That's
two.
what they say. Well, hopefully we'll be able to find out all about it when we do a live with Pure Alaska.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for the live, and I need to write down all the questions that I want to ask because I got a lot of questions.
We might have to go to the store and buy a couple notebooks.
But yeah, I think it'd be really fun to learn about.
It would, because I like being outside. Like every YouTube channel I watch, y'all have to go check out a guy named KG's YouTube channel. I love him. I watch every single video.
Kendall Gray. Has anybody heard of Kendall Gray on YouTube?
He has
That's her favorite person in the entire world.
He has like podcasts, kicking with
Yeah, send it to me. I totally want to see. Go ahead.
There's Kicking It with KG podcast, all that. They talk about stuff like that. Then there's his KG YouTube channel. Then there is one YouTube channel, and he's holding the bass, and he's smiling. That's like his other YouTube channel. I can't think of what it's called. He has at least 4 or 5.
I got that boy she's talking about has been making YouTube
For 9 years.
or been making money off of YouTube for like since he was a teenager, like a young teenager, like before he even hit puberty. And he does really, really well. He's got multiple channels. It's his one of the channels is called Kendall Gray, though. He's a hunter and outdoorsman. He's from Appalachia. He's from Kentucky. I think he's actually in like the Hazard area. Yeah.
What are you doing?
What? It must be raining out there. He's wet.
No,
Let me see.
it's not raining.
Why is he wet?
I
What'd you do?
I want to be a groomer when I get older. So.
Susan sprayed him down. Look at that little rat. My little Ollie rat. My little Ollie rat. He smells good.
KG.
All right, guys. I think I said I was going to get off here like 24 minutes ago. But I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody hanging out. You going to show them Kendall Gray?
That is one of his YouTube channels.
I don't think you'll be able to see it. What's it say? Kendall Gray Vlogs.
That's Kendall Gray Vlogs. Let me see if I can find his actual channel I watch. Real quick.
Do you know, like, back when we were teenagers, you'd, like, have your favorite actor or actress, like, poster hanging in your room?
That's just...
That's the Kendall Gray channel.
Yeah. And if y'all like home and stuff...
Hanging in your room. She has this little phone that she watches YouTube videos on and stuff and plays games on. And her screensaver is a picture of that guy.
No, right now it's a cloud, but I have had
It's a cloud.
Well, it shows me the weather, what my phone percentage is, and
He is her crush. She's in love with him. She thinks he's like a celebrity. Like a...
Well, Daddy, we were talking about the other day.
To him, she's like the equivalent of like Johnny Depp. To him, she's like the Elvis poster I had hanging in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Like he is just, yeah, because he's just.
That was my screen.
That's her screensaver. That's that boy whom she has no clue who he is.
That's the picture. It's opened up on my phone. That is him in a goofy face because he gave 3 people food.
Look at this.
That's that one, and then when I get into my phone, it is.
Her daddy is not happy about this either.
Well, he don't really. I hate it. The other day, he didn't know whether to be proud.
Well, I told him, I said, listen, she could be having a crush on some, like, city slicker boy that don't know the difference between, you know...
I don't have a crush on him.
A shotgun and a handgun. Or she could have a crush on a boy that, you know, has an outdoors hunting YouTube channel that knows how to skin a deer and can catch fish. So I would rather her have the crush on
y'all will have to
a boy that she thinks is a celebrity that's an outdoorsman than to have a crush on some, you know, boy from a boy band.
You'll have to watch some of his videos, like the first one. There's one where he's trying to kill a squirrel with a bow. You have to watch that one if y'all watch it, because he told everybody he gave 3 people food poisoning from pigeon poppers and.
Yeah.
Ollie, come here.
To be 10 years old again. But yeah, her daddy is.
He don't know whether to be happy, grateful, or.
He's not happy about you having a crush.
I don't have one.
You've got a crush. I think it's so cute. I love it. I love the fact that it bothers him.
He told me I put it back on the screen thing, but he told me to change it because
yeah, there's no way. You said Britney Spears was your crush before she went nuts. She became mine after she went nuts. I'm kidding, but yeah. The poor thing, it was not her fault. Hey, Ark, yeah, I don't know if I ever said hi. All right, guys, I got to get off here. Okay.
You're going to talk with our heads off.
I know.
But
I've done told y'all. I feel like I'm dragging you all out.
You tell everybody your whole life story.
I will.
Yeah.
I think you tell everybody your whole life story too. You've done drug Mama through the mud.
I just said I meant to say she has hot flashes and she gets cold. I don't know how she'd do in a cold weather.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Hopefully we can see y'all on the next one. You making fun of me?
No, I said hope we can see y'all on the next one.
Daisy Duke was your crush. What was her name? Who played Daisy Duke? I can't.
Daisy Duke.
I know the newer one. What Jessica Simpson played in it. I never did watch either one. I know it's awful. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye. Love y'all.
See ya. Bye bye. Let me hit the
KG.
KG, gosh.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's who it was.
yeah.
All right.
KG. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't hit okay yet, so now I gotta hit okay. But yeah, I see her name. All right, we'll see you later. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love y'all. Whoop.
Oh my gosh, it won't hit.